Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is News Now at noon.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Matt Hummel.
Now at noon, a Jamestown man allegedly runs from police during a domestic dispute.
And we're going to dig deeper into Chautauqua County Executive George Borrello's proposed budget.
But first, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin and Matt, and hello to everybody out there in BoobTube land. And you're watching us probably on your phone or on your computer, so thank you for joining us on this Thursday. And as we take a look at the satellite and radar composite, you can see we've had a few clouds that have been moving through the area. Now, unfortunately, this is not the Buffalo radar. This is a radar composite because the Buffalo radar is actually down for service. So again, you can see the cloud deck actually stretches as far back as Michigan. This is the part of the cold front that moved through here, and there's another low pressure area with another front back here that looks like it may start to come our way, probably tomorrow night and then through the early part of the weekend. So the high temperature yesterday was 68 degrees, but that occurred early in the morning. We fell down to the 50s in the afternoon hours. 46 was the low this morning, and we're going to be nowhere near the records. And again, 0.01 inches of rain over the past 24 hours. And again, that sunset time getting closer to 7 o'clock, and eventually it'll be here before 6 o'clock before you know it. So sun and clouds for the early part of the afternoon today on MetroCast. As we go throughout the afternoon, the clouds will start to thicken up. There is a chance for a isolated shower through the afternoon hours, but I think the majority of the day should be dry. And then as we head into the evening hours, the chance for a rain shower still continues, but I think the majority of the evening, such as the day, shall be dry. We'll time out those rain chances plus that quick solution 7 to 8 later on in the show. Justin and Matt.
All right, Dakota, thank you. A City of Jamestown man is facing a number of charges after police said he forced his way inside of a Benedict Avenue house and stole property and then ran from officers during a domestic incident on Wednesday. 34-year-old Justin D. Cusimano allegedly ran into the woods after officers arrived at the house. Police then gave chase and Cusimano was apprehended a short distance later. Police said he tried to throw small plastic baggies containing what appeared to be drugs during that chase. Officers said Cusimano had an order of protection to stay away from the victim at the house. He's charged with burglary, grand larceny, criminal contempt, criminal possession of a controlled substance, and tampering with physical evidence. He also had allegedly several warrants for his arrest during that pursuit.
Justin.
Yeah.
Woo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely is. You know what? It seems like we see this all the time with people who allegedly run from the cops, is that they always have, a lot of already outstanding warrants. And unfortunately, when you see things like this, alleged incidences of domestic disputes, it's unfortunate that this man is going through something like this where it causes him to violate that order of protection, whatever it may be. Certainly, hopefully, he and everyone else involved in this can get some help for sure.
I mean, it's something that we're seeing a lot now lately is that violation of the order of protection.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see it a lot more, I think, because a lot of people are getting those nowadays.
Right. And unfortunately, whether it is just related to obviously he had drugs on him, and that certainly makes people do some crazy things. So, prayers to him and wishing him well for sure.
Well, to our neighbors, Pennsylvania State Attorney General Josh Shapiro urged the full releasing of a grand jury report on child sex abuse within the Catholic Church. That during a hearing yesterday. The PA Supreme Court heard oral arguments involving the publication of the 40th statewide investigating the grand jury's report on child sex abuse by priests within the church in 6 dioceses and decades of alleged cover-up by the senior church officials. Shapiro urged the publication of a full, unredacted report from the grand jury, including the names of every predator priest as identified by the grand jury's 2-year investigation. A redacted version was publicly released previously on August 14th. And Justin, I think it's going to be a story that we're going to see for a long, long time.
Yeah, and even in New York State, AG here is investigating and probing those. So certainly it would be be, we've read the portions that were released that obviously was not redacted from Pennsylvania, and I mean, our Rory Palero's done a great job investigating that, and some of the stuff that's come out of it is just absolutely disgusting. So certainly it seems like it could help investigators learn the full story by seeing exactly what everybody was talking about there and what the grand jury specifically found. Obviously, you have to be careful though, because you could hurt the victims even more by knowing even further details. So certainly a fine line, I'm sure.
And that's what they're dealing with right now. That's why a lot of times stuff is redacted. So what they're going to do, I don't know. I think it's going to be a couple months before the court decides what to do.
Right.
And once they know, we'll let you know, and we'll know.
Exactly. So some exciting news for folks in the village of Falconer tomorrow, as officials in the village of Falconer are going to highlight some of the cleanup efforts that are already underway to remove debris in the area of 29 West Main Street, the site of a major fire that occurred in March of 2017 and January of 2018. Village Mayor James Rensel will be joined by Chautauqua County Executive George Borrello and the County Land Bank Gina Paradis from the County Land Bank, as well as other officials, including Vince DeJoy here from the Director of Development in Jamestown. That'll be Friday at 8 a.m. We'll, of course, provide coverage of that news conference. Now, as we were seeing there, some of the images from earlier, late last year, I believe, is when those file images were from. And since then, obviously, the village has undergone another intense fire that we spoke about with the vac shop, and that whole block really ravaged by such a disaster, in a sense. I would say. So certainly, I mean, if you look at before images, this is from 2013 on Google. Obviously, the Google Maps don't update all the time, but these are some stills from their roaming Google car, and just to see the sheer difference between then and now. Obviously, they have put a tarp over it, and the village working really hard to clean things up. But certainly that fateful day, I mean, I think we all remember really well, and I think people in the village of Falconer are ready for the project to really move forward and rebuild something that I think will demonstrate how much hope is there in the village.
It is weird, Justin, to see that footage from 2013, to see the whole thing now. I'm used to everything being gone, and it's just actually, as a Falconer resident, it's very sad to see.
Right.
It really is.
Right. And, I mean, the pictures are incredible now looking back on it, right? Now that we know that, it has happened, it is a fact, but I mean, just that day is so unreal. Sometimes you have those stories where it's just so unreal, and then obviously we thought, okay, there was that one major fire. The Falconer's going to be quiet for a while, but not the case. They had a second fire the following winter. And remember, you and I were at home watching a Steelers game.
No, we didn't even get a chance to start that.
Yeah.
I was already out. It was about 12 o'clock and got the message from a viewer, and I knew right then and there it's going to be an all-day thing.
Right. So certainly we'll keep everybody posted tomorrow here to hear what they have to say about that cleanup effort. Certainly very interesting, and we're excited to see some of the news that'll be coming out of that. Coming up next here, we again are breaking down last night's budget. You got a chance to speak to County Executive George Borrello.
I did, and
so
I'm ready.
We'll certainly hear from you on that. And then a little later on, Dakota's weekend forecast, he'll let us know what's in store when we come back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
For more than 2 decades, Dorler Landscape Designs has provided exceptional service to customers right here in Chautauqua County with one goal in mind: transform your lawn into an attractive landscape that will be the envy of the neighborhood. From landscape design to lawn maintenance to sprinkler installation and so much more. Count on Dorler Landscaping. Call us today and let us get to work for you. Dorler Landscaping Designs at dorlerlandscape.com.
I just love to be with the dogs, and I like to do them one at a time. They don't wait for 5 hours in my shop. We have full groom, which includes everything from A to Z, nails, of course brushing, any trimming that needs to be done. I do offer teeth brushing, which is a little extra. So if he takes me 2 hours, it's $40. If he takes me 3 hours, I still keep it down. As long as the dog comes back happy and not at the door, I'm happy.
The weather is heating up, and so are the deals at Express Bike and Auto, right here in Jamestown, located at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension. They are your one-stop shop for all of your vehicle, ATV, and motorcycle needs. They even sell vehicles, and guess what? Financing is available. So what are you waiting for? Get to Express Bike and Auto right here in Jamestown at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension now.
Welcome back to New and Noteworthy on this wonderful Thursday afternoon, Justin. One more day.
Yeah,
one more
day. And we'll be at Friday. Saying hello to Justin Haniff. How's it going? Thanks for joining us. Amy, Cindy, Brandon, all joining us as well. Happy Thursday, everybody. TGIT.
I like that.
Chugging towards that weekend.
Well, it was TGIW for George Borrello last night. He presented his tentative 2019 budget at Wednesday evening's legislature meeting. Borrello, the county executive, says his budget plan is going to be balanced and without an increase in sales and property tax rates.
You know, there were a lot of challenges involved. You know, we started with a $4 million budget deficit, and, you know, closing that budget deficit really meant trying to find those pennies to put in our bushel, and we really did. We had lots of small savings that were brought to us and some significant savings. But ultimately, it was the targets that we gave each department and them working very hard to reach those targets that really helped us close that budget gap.
He also says it's going to be historic, Justin, because there wouldn't be unassigned fund balance usage for the first time in at least a decade.
Wow.
And to explain that a little bit more, the fund balance, the general fund balance is like your savings account. So the general budget, you've got your checking account.
Right.
So that's the one you use predominantly. Your savings account, like you would use in real life, is an emergency thing, not to really be touched unless something happens. And he doesn't want to touch that savings account. So what the legislature decides to do, we don't know. The final budget could be presented within the next month or so.
Right.
It has to be presented by December 1st. But at this point, Justin, it's balanced without the usage of that savings account. The rates for the property and the sales tax aren't supposed to go up, so that's good.
Exactly, and it seems like this certainly is what you would want in a budget. I mean, a lot of people, you put money in your savings, you don't want to dip into it unless there's an actual emergency. So certainly over the next, I would imagine, weeks to month, they will be debating over that and talking about and digging a little deeper, the legislators.
It's going to go back to the committees.
Right, and talking specifically about their portions of it. So certainly a very interesting budget presentation last night as George Borrello, he comes from the business world, and I would argue, a little bit of the entertainment industry, working with his wife there in the northern portion of the county in Sunset Bay. So he kept things interesting by taking that bushel full of penny theory and actually demonstrating it.
Start off with a business principle, the bushel full of pennies theory. And that is, a penny by itself isn't worth much. Most people wouldn't even pick up a penny on the sidewalk if they saw it. But if you have a bushel full of pennies, that adds up to some real money. So we talked about the bushel full, hold on a second. There we go. Mr. Niebel always has to throw his 2 cents in, so yeah, well, the rest of them were in your seat cushions, where I got most of these. So,
But certainly, keeping it light was a very good theme, in my opinion, to go with last night. And, good for George with that presentation. I want to know how much is in there. That'd be very interesting. That's probably really heavy.
Well,
too.
if that's the bushel size that he's talked to us about before, I think it's $332, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, I was gonna say maybe we could use that here at the newsroom. Buy us lots of pizza, George.
Oh.
But no, and one of the other major topics that was discussed last night. Including, they're talking about a lot about safety improvements with the county EMS. We'll have much more on that on our site coming up. But District Attorney Patrick Swanson is asking for budget increases in his department, and he says it's all part of an effort to hire a special narcotics prosecutor. Borrello last night said he's in full support of that and that increased part of the balanced budget. Borrello said that an increase was appropriated by the legislature last year, but Swanson used that money elsewhere, and that has allowed both of Swanson's department and the sheriff's department very much something that they're allowed to do. And Borrello talked about that with us afterwards.
now, of course, it'll be up to the legislature to determine whether or not that stays in the budget, in the final adopted budget. I know as a member of the legislature last year, we had indeed appropriated that money, and the district attorney chose to use that elsewhere. We cannot dictate how the money is spent. We can only give them an amount of money and make recommendations.
So certainly, we will see where that comes from. We've obviously reached out to DA Swanson. We're waiting for his response to George's comments. But certainly, the narcotics prosecutor. We've talked with Swanson about that. It's needed, obviously. Yep. We see that in the number of cases. And if we can, talking with George last night, if we can add that prosecutor, we can get people swifter justice, moving through the system faster, then they don't clog up the county jails, and it doesn't cost the taxpayers as much.
And here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be a slam dunk to get that prosecutor approved. And I say that because we're going to have this letter up shortly. DA Swanson was asked by I think it was the Audit and Control Committee, to send a letter to them discussing why he wants another prosecutor, why he wants some, more funds,
right.
And they want documentation of that. He sent a letter to the committee on September 11th, I believe. We received that yesterday, so we have that. And what's going to be interesting to me is like what George said. Last year, Swanson asked for more money, but then it ended up going somewhere else.
Right.
Now, legally, that's fine.
Right.
Like we discussed,
right, as we said.
Swanson and Sheriff Joe Gerasi are allowed to end up moving the money to something else that they may need. But when a committee recommends something and they give that money and it doesn't go there, it could get some frustrated people.
Right.
And plus, too, another thing, and you and I were talking about this earlier. Right now, and DA Swanson and I have talked about this, there's frustrated people out there with some of the outcomes with some of the big cases. They may not necessarily see all of the good things that happen or all the unfortunate things that might happen in the office. There's two sides to both things. So if constituents start getting a little frustrated with only seeing one part of the process, and they start going and talking to their legislator that they report to, that might turn the legislator off a little bit. So right. I personally think it's going to end up going through. I think they just might need to hammer out some things to, right the ship.
Yeah, great analysis there, Matt. Thank you. Also, another great event is coming up. We all know that September is Suicide Awareness Month, and community members from all over the region are expected to partake in a Suicide Awareness Walk.
That's right, and that's going to be hosted by the Chautauqua Tapestry. And the talk supports the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Out of the Darkness community walks are being held across the entire country this fall. The walks are expected to unite more than 250,000 walkers nationally and raise more than $15 million for suicide prevention and research efforts. The walk is at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in downtown Jamestown. Register online at outofthedarkness.org and come out Saturday, October 13th. Visit that site for more details.
Absolutely.
And Justin, if I remember correctly, last year they had a couple of events where family members of those who unfortunately took their own life, they'd have like grief counseling type things, and I think it really helps, because when somebody unfortunately takes their own life, there's people that are still going to feel their pain.
Right, and there's a lot of unanswered questions. So certainly a great event, worth I think it's like $15 or something like that to walk in. So certainly, even if you don't want to walk, just donate to such a great event. It's incredible, and show up that day. We'll have details coming up on our site as well. Next, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter with details on our weekend forecast, and then a special birthday surprise follows Norman Rodriguez's sports when we come back.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Turn to Brotherhood Property Maintenance for all your lawn care and landscaping needs. Serving both commercial and residential lots. Check out Jamestown's fastest growing landscaping crew on Facebook, or call us now to book an appointment. The Fitness Bunker in Lakewood is a locally owned and operated club that cares about your health and wellness. They invest in it. Right now, enter their 30-day challenge, where for only $69, you get 30 days of unlimited everything. That's right, everything, along with 2 one-on-one personal training sessions. Then, if you lose 10 pounds, you'll get the next month free. Plus, the first place winner will get 2 Buffalo Bills tickets or a $100 gift card. Details right now on the Fitness Bunker's Facebook page.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
Birthday surprise, that worries me, but I don't think it's mine, because my birthday surprise was Monday, so I wonder whose it might be. Anyway, this is the only on Skyvision. You can see traffic flowing pretty well there on Union Street. The temperature out there, it's 56 over 48, and when that dew point's in the 40s, that means it is very nice and comfortable. Hey, the Jamestown Red Raiders have a football game on Friday for Friday Night Lights. It is Jamestown versus West Seneca West. They will be going to West Seneca, and that is being played at 7 p.m. on Friday at Trojan Field. And again, there is a chance for a rain shower through the game, but again, I don't expect any sort of any delays, but make sure you bring that umbrella or poncho, because there will be the chance for a few rain showers throughout the game. And again, you can see that here, the probability of rain, it's kind of spotty over the next couple days, but again, the rain chances will actually increase early in the weekend, and then possibly as we go into early next week as well. Next week officially starts October. Can you believe that? HD News Now, Cam, you can see the clouds just kind of dotting the sky out there, and again, the fly kind of flying just a little bit. That's a good indication of the wind. 56 current temperature with that south wind of 8, and again, there's that dew point of 48. So again, you know, when that dew point's in the 40s, nice and comfortable. This is the cold front that plowed through the region yesterday, that gave us the rain and storms yesterday. That's now moving off the east coast, but you can see the front is still sagging down to the south. All these low pressure areas attached to it down to the south. High pressure almost in control of our weather, but there's another system back here that is going to be moving our way, possibly over the early part of the weekend. So let's show that to you here on Future Scan. Now, what you see here is overdone. I do not think the rain is going to be this widespread. If there's going to be rain, it's going to be isolated in nature. The computer is way overdoing this, so I would not count on that. But do expect possibly an isolated shower through the afternoon and evening hours. It's quiet for tomorrow, and then this is right during the game tomorrow. So again, do expect a few passing showers from time to time. I don't expect any lightning in this, but do expect a few rain showers. And October generally means crisp, cool air. The Climate Prediction Center has us at a 50% chance for seeing above average temperatures. You can see we're kind of on the edge of that orange line there, and then the 40% chance for the remainder of New York State. So it looks like October will start warmer than average. So yeah, just wait a little bit for that fall October air. Temperatures today will top out in the lower 60s across the lake shoreline. And again, there's that chance for a rain shower later in the afternoon. But again, I think it's going to be spotty to isolated if anything does pop up inland. Well, we'll be just a little bit cooler, but Warren, though, is the exception there at 64 degrees. So again, mainly sun and clouds, but again, do expect the chance for an isolated shower through the afternoon hours. Your future 7 days are on the screen. There you see 66 Friday, 57 on Wednesday. That is way below average. We should be near 66 this time of the year. And hey, October starts Monday, but boy, it's not going to feel like it with that string of 70s for early next week. The DoubleTree by Hilton is looking for employees in the Jamestown area. Join them at a number of job fairs this September. From servers, bartenders, cooks, and housekeepers, the hotel has many positions to fill. Applicants must bring a resume and cover letter. Arrive prepared to interview.
Hey, this is Ryan Hedrick reporting from the Jamestown Bowling Company, where the bowling is off the hook, the food is even better, and the camaraderie watching sports is oh so great.
The food is fantastic and the drinks are cold.
Mark was bowling almost a perfect game. Mark, do you come here a lot?
Every day.
Wow, Mark comes here every day. No excuse for you not to get to Jamestown Bowling Company on Foote Avenue. Jamestown Bowling Company. Eat, drink, bowl, and be merry.
The Frewsburg Pharmacy is the small-town pharmacy with big-time service. Located at 26 West Main Street, Greg Nelson treats his customers like family, so you know you are in good hands when you walk through the door. The Frewsburg Pharmacy has everything you need and more, including a gift shop for the seasons. Stop down to the Frewsburg Pharmacy today and let the staff show you why the Frewsburg Pharmacy is the pharmacy that cares about you.
Brought to you by the people giving hope at Gifts Decor and More. With the controversial kratom, Gifts Decor and More is giving hope to Southern Chautauqua County residents, one visit at a time.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome back to News Now at Noon. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at some sports headlines. With the NASCAR playoffs rapidly approaching, there is still another upcoming race to determine who goes on and who goes home. The Bank of America Royal 400 will be live Sunday at 2 at Charlotte. 16 drivers are still in playoff contention, but 4 will be eliminated Sunday. The race will be on NBC. You can also watch the race on the NBC Sports app. The Buffalo Sabres fell last night to the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-1. Phil Kessel had a big night for Pittsburgh, scoring twice, while Pens captain Sidney Crosby added an assist. Buffalo's only goal was scored by Alexander Nylander, with assists from Jason Pominville and Marco Scandella. The Sabres will conclude their preseason tomorrow at 7 o'clock as they take on the New York Islanders. The New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets hope to return to the playoffs after rather dismal seasons last year. The Knicks hope their star Kristaps Porzingis will be ready for opening night as he is recovering from a torn ACL he suffered last season. Also, keep an eye on Trey Burke as well, as he continues a career resurrection. The Nets, meanwhile, hope to build off an improvement year. They acquired D'Angelo Russell last season from the Lakers, as well as bench specialist Allen Crabbe from Portland. The trades resulted in an 8-win improvement, and the Nets want more. Justin and Matt, back to you.
Alrighty, thank you, Norm. Final moments here of our broadcast. We wanted to wish Pam Jury a very happy birthday. She always tunes in every day, and it's also Google's birthday as well. So certainly very exciting. So that's it for us today. We are back tomorrow. In the meantime, WNYNewsNow.com is the place to be. Where news continues 24/7.
And I do want to mention very, very quickly, I know we have just a couple seconds, but the race at Charlotte's being ran at the Roval, which is technically a road course within the racetrack. This is the first time they've ever raced on it. It's going to be interesting.